All right, here we are, walking in purpose, on purpose, to image our Creator, the all-powerful one, who made us like Him. What does that even look like? I want you to see in the first 5 words of the Bible, in the beginning, God created. He's a creator, and so are you. And so the battle for your mind to keep you enslaved to your sexual urges, actively pursuing a woman who can't reject you, who is really fake and phony, an image, fantasy world. I love those wonderful bouncing milk jugs just as much as you do, but they're not going to master me. I must master it in order to really tap into the power that I have and to my creative abilities that, if they're wasted, can't be used to do what will give the commendation, well done, good and faithful servant, because self-discipline is on the front end of all major success. And until we, men of God, learn how to control ourselves, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're wasting time. What does it profit to gain all of those euphoric experiences and to not live in purpose, on purpose, tapping into our unique ability? You are made in the image of God. He has big plans for you. It doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done, and how long you might have been enslaved. It's time for something new. It's time for an experience that's going to free you, to release you. We saw in my previous video from Proverbs chapter 6 that you have the power to free yourself, to deliver thyself. No temptation will come upon you except what is common to man. God is faithful. He won't let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. Deliver yourself. And today we're going to continue Solomon's warnings. In chapter 7 of the book of Proverbs, he begins with these words: "My son, keep my words and store up my commands within you. Keep my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your kinsman. They will keep you from the adulteress, from the wayward wife with her seductive words." You ever been seduced by an actual woman, by a virtual woman, by a pop-up? There's so many different men who have fallen prey of a seductive woman. Strong men who just got weak and in one moment threw it all away. At the window, verse 6 of chapter 7, "At the window of my house, I looked out through the lattice. I saw among the simple, I noticed among the young men, a youth who lacked judgment." Stupid. You ever did something just stupid, like sexually? That was just stupid. That was just dumb. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, the keychain, and I want you to know that you have good company. You're not stuck there unless you refuse to come out of isolation. That's what this whole thing is about. No Nut November. Most times people are trying to do it in isolation, and this is the reason why many will try and many will fail. We've got to come together. There is power in community. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens one another. And we aren't going to continue to have those fig leaves on, running and hiding. It's time to do something different. He noticed this youth who lacked judgment. Verse 8, he was going down the street near her corner, walking in the direction of her house, proximity. Walking in the direction of her house. What does that look like for you? Does that look like you are scrolling late at night when you really need to probably have your phone in the other room? What does that look like? You texting that girl when you know she has no business having the time and energy of you in this season of life. At twilight, as the day was fading, as the dark of night set in, there came out a woman to meet him, dressed like a prostitute. I wonder how those people dress. You know what they look like. What was you looking for? You scrolling, you swiping. You should not have on your feed these images of, if you do, I'm here to tell you, it's time for you to change that. It's time for you to not try to do it alone. You can reset your algorithm. Trust me. How do I know this? Because I've done it. And I want to walk with you through the process. There's something better than titties. And we can discover how walking in purpose, eliminating distraction, and embracing our true masculinity can be one of the most fulfilling experiences of your life. You were made to be fruitful, multiply, filling the earth, subdue it, having dominion. That's what assignment has our names all over it. Back to what is happening in this story in Proverbs chapter 7. He's going down the street near her corner, walking in the direction of her house. Proximity will kill you. Can a man scoop fire into his lap? That's what we read on yesterday. Part 2 of my video series. At twilight, as the day was fading, as the dark of night set in, my man, if I could tell you how many times these uncontrollable urges came upon me in the night hours. Woo! Then out came a woman to meet him. She may have popped up on the screen. She's dressed like a prostitute. She has crafty intent. She is loud and defiant. Her feet never stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares. At every corner she lurks. She took a hold of him and kissed him. And with a brazen face, she said, I have fellowship offerings at home. I don't even know what that means, but I do know what it's like to be kissed. I do know what it's like to fantasize that what you're seeing happening on the other side of that screen, that it can happen for you. A woman who would not reject you. A woman who would adore you, a woman who would lavish affection and love and respect, adoration upon you. I know what it's like to crave that. And I'm here to say that there's nothing wrong with that yearning that you have. It's a legitimate need that we're seeking to meet with illegitimate means. Illegitimate. It's not going to give you what you desire. You know, after you did that stupid thing, not controlling your urges, you know, after that feeling came that feeling. Goodness, why did I do that? Well, because you're human and we crave affection. We crave satisfaction. We crave being accepted. And the illusion, especially of pornography, is that you can have all of that. But it's a trick, it's a trap. The enemy is going to steal, kill, and destroy and use you to do his dirty work. She takes a hold of his face. She kisses him in verse 13 and comes and says in verse 15, I came out to meet you. I looked for you and I found you. I've covered my bed with colored linens from Egypt. I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink deep of love till morning. Let's enjoy ourselves with love. The human quest that we all are searching for. Unfortunately, that experience that we're searching for is love. But the common experience that we really come face to face with is pain. It's pain. Because of pain, we look for love in all the wrong places. Scrolling and swiping, DMing and Netflix and chilling. We are out here and we will settle for that day-old hamburger sitting in the trash can. We're starving for affection. We're starving for significance. We're starving for all of these good things, but we're seeking them in destructive ways. And I'm here to tell you that we can have something. We can have it all, really. But on the other side of self-discipline is all true success. If you don't learn how to control your urges, they will control you and pull you down into the abyss of hedonism and all kinds of unpleasant experiences. When we step outside of the principles of heaven, why would we expect for wonderful things to happen? Then God would be a liar. So we know better than that. Let's finish the chapter off here. She says in verse 19, my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took his purse filled with money and will not be home to the full moon. With persuasive words, she led him astray. Okay. It was a good idea until it wasn't a good idea. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once, he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose, till an arrow pierces his liver, like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life. What is it costing you to stay in that pattern of sexual compulsive behavior? It's costing you your life. You were made for something bigger. You were created for a purpose. You have a unique ability. There's people who are waiting on what you have right now, but you're wasting your substance on that which will never satisfy. When you get a chance, go to Isaiah 55. And I'm going to probably have to do another video on it. But Isaiah 55 is all about the thirst that we have. You're not a wretched soul. You're not a hopeless case. You're just a thirsty man. We have these core thirsts that drive us to do things that we know. It's like you'll drink that. Yeah. People who've been stranded at sea have at times tried to drink the salt water only to discover, yeah, that's a really bad idea. And I'm here to tell you that these urges, it's a bad idea to let them control you. It will cost you. There will be a financial dollar amount. You're squandering the superpower that God gave you. These distractions, they're costing you a fortune. Now then, my son, Solomon says in verse 24, listen to me, pay attention to what I have to say. Do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her paths. Many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Her house, the adulteress, it's a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. A highway to hell. That's what we're on. When we're allowing ourselves to continue on this path, to stay addicted to pornography, to have sexual interactions with people who we haven't committed to be one flesh with. Why would you unite your body with a prostitute? said Paul in 1 Corinthians. Honor God with your body. Why would I do that? Because if we honor God, he'll honor you. And he wants to do so much more. In Daniel chapter 1 and verse 20, we see that he who has purposed in his heart that he won't defile himself, he's channeled these energies into a purpose-driven life. And at the end of his 3-year training, the most powerful man on earth comes and he finds Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah 10 times better than everybody else in the entire kingdom. How is it that they were able to be 10 times better than everyone else? Is they weren't wasting and squandering their creative energy. They weren't wasting their life force on things that didn't matter. And I want you to know that God has the same intention for you. But the enemy, he's coming. He's walking around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And I'm here to say no more. No more men who are like that little helpless gazelle in isolation. We're coming together to fight for the right to be 10 times better as men, to take the unique ability that's been hardwired into our DNA and to pursue it with passion, to avoid the distractions and to understand who we are, whose we are, and to whom we can be connected to be better men. When I became a man, I put childish ways behind me. There's something that's better than titties, fellas. And we are going to discover it together. I want you this November. We're going to go on a journey. And I'm getting a select group of men who are going to be like the Navy SEALs on a special assignment. This promise of life and life more abundantly still has your name all over it. And I want you to join me in this quest to overcome these urges and to master them in all other areas of life. If you can control yourself sexually, what could you not do? You can do all things, not some things, not hard things, all things. How? Through him who does what? He gives you strength, but he's not going to do it for you. He's going to give you the strength. You have the strength on the inside of you. And it's unlocked when you tap into the power that's outside of you. The power of community, transformation of relationships. Let's get the fig leaves off. Let's stop running and hiding. Let's get into safe space where we can be real and not displaying this cropped and edited version of ourselves, where we're growing in all of the areas of life that matter most. This is the time. This is the season. No, not November. We're going to be men of purpose. So would you consider joining me? Please, I'd love to meet with you individually, one-on-one. You can send me an email, growthcoachd@gmail.com, or contact me with that same handle on any major social media platform. Let's grow together.